Hey everybody, I know it's been a while since I posted any new videos. Had a few things that have popped up, but I have definitely been working on the van. Finished up the ceiling. I got some cabinets in, got a stovetop, got a refrigerator, and this video is going to be about the sink that I'm about to put in, and I'll go over how that's going. So here it is. This is the sink cabinet that's been taking me so long to build. This is actually the second version that I've built. The first version was made for a different water tank, which I screwed up and didn't like exactly how that was fitting, and so this is the new one. As you see on the exterior, I finally got the cabinet doors finished. One of the things that I'm doing within the van is I'm putting acrylic on all the cabinet doors so I can throw stickers where I go, and eventually once I fill up a door full of stickers and I need more room, I can always pull the acrylic off and put another piece on. Plus it also helps protect the wood. So for my testing, you can see I got the pump all hot wired. And this is the interior. So I decided to do all the testing on my patio instead of the van, which, just in case I had a leak, I didn't necessarily want all this water leaking in my van, and that was a good call. Right now it's been pressurized for about 3 days, no leaks, nothing. I can see no water coming out on the patio, so I think it's ready to go back into the van. I'm using two 10-gallon water tanks, which are from Amazon. I think they're about 35 bucks a piece, and they come with the fittings already, which that was kind of nice, instead of having to actually cut holes and make your own fittings. I have them connected here using these 90-degree elbows, and you can also see back in here I have the vents, and they're both vented together to connect, and the water actually comes in through here into the system. And this little piece, I'll be able to screw that into the bottom of the van. This is a isolation valve for the pump. This one's for the drain. Comes up. I use this hose because the pump vibrates a little bit more, and actually I wanted to see the water as it goes up into the strainer. As far as filling the tanks, I have my gravity feed coming in the Valterra lockable gravity feed city water. This one has a city water pressure regulator coming into it. On the back side, this is a braided half-inch faucet NPT that goes into my diverter valve. So the cool thing about the diverter valve is the way it's set up right now is if I turned on the water, the actual faucet water, it would just go up through here and pressurize the rest of the system. But if, let's say that I'm parked, and before I take off, I don't have to actually disconnect up here. I just flip this valve and I can fill up the tanks. So coming from the strainer, you see I got this line that goes all over to my accumulator, and I'll go ahead and move around the front. Okay, coming from the pump, you can see that it connects into the accumulator on that side, out of the accumulator through another connection. This is the check valve that when you're using the city water, I'm not putting back pressure back into my pump and into the accumulator. Come down, tees off, and I have these fittings, this fitting here, this fitting, and that fitting, to be able to pull this whole piece off, so that if I need to get at the pump, I got a little kind of clamp in the back, a little piece of wood that it holds in. I just pull this screw out. I can pull the accumulator and the pump all out. So if there's any problems, I can just take care of that. So as it tees off, comes over here going into my heat exchanger. So I got the cold water that will come into the heat exchanger. This is a beer wort heat exchanger, and on this side I'll have my hot water coming in, hot water going out from my diesel heater, which I also going to have hooked up to another heat exchanger that goes to my engine. So if I've been driving, I will be able to recoup some of that heat as well. I just got a couple other circulator pumps I got to put together. So cold water comes in, gets heated up, hot water comes out, and you got to be careful that sometimes it can be up to about 190 degrees depending on how hot your engine is. And that's definitely not something you want to take a bath in. So that hot water comes down through into this Honeywell AM1 series thermostatic valve. Cold water comes in, they mix. And then that mixture, which should be at about like 120 for your regular bath, is going to come through, and it tees over into the hot water line here. And you see on both ends I have these are going to go out to my shower, and everything goes on and up into the sink, drain for the sink. It's one of those HEPA valves. It's a one-way valve, so it leaves the reason for having any kind of like a P-trap. So winterizing is going to be real easy. And then I have the drain that's going to head out that way. Here's the sink. It's a Dometic SMEV sink. I think I actually ordered it online, and it came from Europe somewhere. So it's actually a pretty nice sink. I think these are usually put in boats, so it's kind of a maritime sink. So it folds down for the faucet. Just lift it up. And pump works. Accumulator is keeping the pressure going too. So everything's been working real well so far. So this is how I'm filling the tanks right now. I'm using a Culligan water filter. I know this is kind of backwards of how they said to set it up, but for how things are working, it just worked the best here on the patio. I have the hose going over into my box. Here's my Valterra box. That's the Gravity and both City. And you can see the actual vent right in here. This on the back side has a pressure regulator going into this braided hose, and then this one goes right into the tank. Now when I set this up, I have it so that there is a diverter valve that I can go from the city water pressure, which is actually on right now. So if I work the sink, it's not going to need the pump to go ahead and use any of the water in the van. So also with the diverter pump, I set it up so that I could fill my tanks like this. As you can see, it's filling up right now. So filling up the tank, you can see that I am almost full of the bottom one, and that will fill up pretty much all the way where there's like no air. There's not a whole lot of air in the bottom tank. And now the top tank should be filling up. Okay, as you can see, I'm getting close with as far as I can get it, and yep, see there it's coming out the vent valve. There it is. Tanks are full. Took about 5 minutes from having them all the way drained to getting them full using the diverter valve. The nice thing about the diverter valve is I'll be able to be inside the van and I can just watch and wait until that actually gets to the top of the tank and turn it off real quick and still have water going. So to drain the tanks, use this isolation valve from the pump and just use this valve here, and it's starting to drain right now. So this is where I'm going to be putting the sink, and right next to it is going to be a shower. This will be eventually built up. I will lose a little bit of the window. This right here is where the drain is going to come out of the shower, and then this comes straight down from the sink going into my gray water tank. With the little cassette toilet, I'm not going to have a black water tank, so this is removable, and I'll just pull that out when I need to take a shower. And in this area is where I'm going to have to cut the hole for the water inlet, but I still haven't exactly decided which one I'm going to use and how I'm going to do it. That wraps up as far as I've gotten with the sink, and in some new videos I'll go over how I put my cooktop in, the refrigerator, the microwave, the wardrobe, and some of the other stuff that I've done with the van. So thanks for watching. See you later.